Hi guys, welcome back again to Vlog Media. My name is Mark, and for today we are going to review a special thing about cameras. And I just bought a lens. And you probably know it because you saw your thumbnails, right? So it is this lens. Ta-da! So we're going to talk about the 24mm EF-S Canon 2.8 lens. This is actually a small lens, one of the smallest in its size, and it's a pancake lens.
Oh, do you not like pancakes?
No, I love pancakes.
I love some pancakes.
So it's a pancake lens because the diameter of this lens is actually longer than the thickness or the length of this lens. So it's basically a pancake.
Pancake, 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 pancake.
So this lens, which is 24mm, is actually Canon's lineup of EF-S lenses. So basically, when you talk about EF-S lenses, there are two types of lenses in the Canon range of DSLR cameras. So we have the EF mount, which is for the full frame, and the EF-S for the APS-C, which is, of course, has a smaller sensor size. But of course, the APS-C cameras can take in both EF and EF-S lens. And this is actually an EF-S lens, so it doesn't fit the EF lens full frame format. It only fits in the APS-C. And I got this lens from Wax Photography in Birmingham, and also this is secondhand, so you can't really buy them brand new because they don't make them anymore. And yeah, so I think buying secondhand lens is quite good as long as you know the retailer and you know what you're looking for. Especially if this lens, I found this lens as almost as good as new because I don't really see much scratches, if there are not any scratches at all. So yep. So this lens, I find it solid built, even though it's a small lens, and it's only about 20mm long from here. And it takes up a filter, which is a small filter. It takes only a 52mm filter, which is one of the smallest filters. So it won't cost you that much to buy a UV filter for this lens. And for the weight, it's lightweight. It only weighs about 125 grams, which is makes it one of the lightest lenses out there in the Canon EF-S lens lineup. And for the aperture, it's 2.8, so it's quite fast. And the minimum aperture is 22. And also, it's an automatic lens. It focuses automatically, so it also has a manual and an automatic button here, automatic focus. Also, you can see there's a very narrow focusing ring, which is not quite advisable to use because the focusing ring is very narrow and it's not very, I wouldn't say it's accurate, it's not accurate, but it's a little bit small for my hand to focus on if I'm going to use it manually. So yeah, most likely this is a lens that you would use to focus on automatically. Yeah, one good feature about this lens that it's a macro, it's just a designation of macro in it, which is capable of focusing at a distance as short as 16 centimeters. So that makes it a macro lens. It's not a dedicated macro lens, but it's good enough to take in some shots from the macro world. So 16mm is okay. So it's not that bad, but it's really okay. Now take note that this lens also has a special motor in it, which is called the STM motor, which is a stepper motor. So it's not like those noisy motors that you see in the older lenses. So this is quite quiet when you focus on it. It's quiet, but it's not absolutely quiet, but it makes a little bit of buzz.
Buzz? Buzz! Buzz!
But it's not as noisy as the older ones. With regards to focusing, it's not as fast as those USM lenses, but this is quite respectably fast, but it's not enough to take a shot on wildlife photography, but it's fast enough. Also, please take note that this lens is not weather sealed, so it does not have any rubber flanges around the seals, which many of the weather sealed lenses have, but this one doesn't have. And good thing that for this lens it has a metal mount, so which is good, which is much better than a plastic one. So this lens does not have any in-body stabilization, and you might need to use a faster shutter speed for you to get a sharper or a better quality picture or sharper quality picture because it doesn't have any stabilization. Or of course, if your camera has an in-body stabilization, it might do work well with it. However, Canon DSLRs doesn't usually have this in-body stabilization, but if you use this in cameras with in-body stabilization, then of course the better. So I took this in a test run using my Canon 100D, which kind of complements the size and the weight of this camera together with the lens to make it really looks like a compact camera, but it's not, it's a DSLR. So I took a sample shots from this camera and lens, and here is what we found out. So I went out and took a picture of the wall. So as you can see, if it's wide open at 2.8, you can see there's quite a lot of vignetting around the corners. However, this vignetting disappears when you stop it down to f4, and virtually disappears at actually f4. It disappears, and you can see it from f4 onwards, 5.6 to f8. So upon taking a look on the center frame, so 2.8 aperture at wide open, it's already sharp, and when you stop it down to f4, it looks a lot more sharper, and even more so at 5.6. You can see the mushy picture at f8. Now it's not because it's less sharp, but I did realize that I was taking it at a very slow shutter speed at 1 out of 15. But f8 is very sharp as well as compared to 2.8. So let's now go towards the corner of the picture. Now at f2.8, you can clearly see the vignetting on the corner there. So while it disappears on f4, and virtually you can see it at f5.6 to f1.8. However, you can see a little bit of softness over the f2.8, but it becomes a lot more sharper at f4 and towards f8. So we're going to test a video capability of this lens, and this was taken using a Canon 100D at 30 frames at full HD. And as you can see here that the video is a little bit shaky because it doesn't have any in-video stabilization. Plus you will also hear the buzzing noises that I mentioned about earlier with the stepper motor. So this is the macro shot taken up close of a picture of a leaf, and as you can see, actually it's very sharp. Where you can see the details of the small structures within the leaf. So by the way, if you like this video, please don't forget to comment, share, like, and most importantly, subscribe to support my growing channel. So here are the other pictures taken from this lens. So what's the verdict for this lens? So this lens is very small and it's very handy if you're the type of person who would want to carry less luggages as much as possible, trying to carry as light as possible when you go and travel. This will be the lens for you. In fact, this lens can actually fit in your pocket. In addition, this lens is also fast with an aperture of 2.8, so you won't really have to worry with the shutter speed if it goes a little bit dark, so you won't really worry with this one. In addition, this lens is very sharp and it won't really disappoint you because it is sharp and it doesn't really cost you that much. Folks, that's a review for the EF-S 24mm lens, and I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you on the next video or the next vlog media by me, Mark. So see you again, guys. Stay healthy and stay safe, and see you guys on the next video. So if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.